Will starts off this hour in Erie, Pennsylvania. Hi, Will. Welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me on the call.
Sure. What's up?
Yeah, so I work in the financial sector, about a $1.5 billion institution with about 170 employees. I was recently hired about 4 months ago to be the successor to my boss in a department of about 10 people. I'm in IT, so I'd be the vice president of technology for the company. And as I was hired, it was very well apparent that I was the guy that was coming in to replace my boss. And that's how it's been communicated to me and the executive management. However, my team does not know that.
Why?
And there's a guy in
Why did you all not tell the team what was going on?
Well, there's a guy in the department that's been there almost 20 years who thinks that he's getting the role, but has proven even the 4 months that I'm there, he's not.
But he wasn't getting the role when they hired you.
Correct.
Why hadn't they already handled this before they brought you in?
That's kind of why I'm calling. I had a conversation with my boss, and I had a conversation with HR, just like, hey, and one of the issues.
The guy's going to quit.
Well, that's one of the issues, and I can't afford to lose him because
you're going to lose him. You're going to lose him because your boss is a wuss.
Well, I think it's an interesting situation that our company has grown quite a bit over the years, and this round of leadership that's getting ready to retire is really the main growth of the business. And I don't think they know how to handle something like this.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they mishandled it. It's not fair to the poor guy. He's been working his butt off for 20 years. He thinks he's in line for a promotion. They hire a guy who probably is more qualified. He probably wasn't ready for the promotion. He probably just thinks he is, but they did not handle that. Instead, they swept that under the rug, and surprise, along comes Will. Oh my gosh, the poor guy. You didn't do it. I'm not fussing at you, but your leaders, man, they let the poor guy down, and he's going to be disillusioned. If he stays, you're going to have a bad team member, and he's probably going to leave.
Well, I can sense a little bit that he's seen the writing on the walls, and he's
doesn't matter. His feelings are going to be hurt when the writing is put in spotlight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, I'm just trying to understand how to navigate this. It's a great company, great culture. I think this is just one of those situations that they're not sure how to manage, and I want to make sure it's done right because I don't want to lose the guy. And
I'm sorry, you don't have that option. It's already too late. It's not been done right. And so the only question now is how big the damage is going to actually be. I'll give you a 90% probability based on my experience this guy hits eject. I don't think he stays. If I were him, I probably wouldn't stay. Just because of how it's been mishandled by the people that hired you. And so, honestly, it's not your job. They should go in. The guy that hired you should go in and sit down with whoever the guy's name is and say, listen, I made a grave error. You've been here 20 years. I should have been straight with you and told you that we were hiring Will for this position. And Will was brought in to take this position. I know you had your eye on it, and I love you, and I didn't want to hurt your feelings. And in the process of doing that, I'm actually probably hurting your feelings more, and I'm so sorry I goofed up as a leader. And that's your leader's script. Now, if your leader won't do that, that's your only shot at maybe. But I'm still telling you, I think the guy's gone. But that's the proper thing to do. That's what should have been done before you were put in there. You can't do it. You can't do it. You don't have any street cred with the guy. He doesn't care what you think. You're just the thief that took his position.
Not to mention I'm 20 years younger than him.
There's that too. Yeah, it makes it even harder. Yeah. I mean, you were left in an untenable position by weak leaders. So you may have a great culture, but your leader was weak. And listen, I will say that boldly, and I have been the guy that did crap like that too. So I've made the exact same mistake. That's why I'm passionate about it. Because in the name of not hurting someone's feelings, I ended up hurting their feelings worse later. That's me. And that's what your boss did, or the guy that brought you in did. So I'll tell your boss, listen back to this podcast when we play it, and he owes the guy an apology. He screwed up. And a good leader has got the backbone to sit down and apologize if they screwed up. And it just says, hey, Charlie, or whatever his name is, you've been here 20 years. You do a great job. I honestly didn't think you could fill this role, so I brought Will in to fill the role, and I should have told you that beforehand, and I'm so sorry. I owed you more than that. You've earned more than that, and I let you down. I'm so sorry. I hope you'll forgive me, and I hope you'll stay because you're valuable to us. We just didn't see you filling this role. And, the guy will go through all of his emotions, and he's probably gone. But
I hope not. I think he's seen the writing on the walls because
I'm sorry, Will.
He started befriending me some, and
I'm sorry, Will. Him having hints is different than him being treated with respect.
Understood. Yeah.
It's the lack of respect that'll cause him to eject, not missing the position.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what you're dealing with. And so I tried to use that in my mind too. That's why I'm cutting you off. When I made this same exact mistakes, and I've made it more than once, sadly, because in the name of being nice, I know I sound real rough on the radio, on the podcast, but in the name of being nice, I have been horribly unclear at times, and I have accidentally caused more damage than actually just telling the freaking truth would have done. So I know how this feels. And then I wanted to justify it and go, well, they should have known, because, if they were more self-aware, they would know they didn't have the chops to cover the job. And so I try to put it back on them, but it's just my fault. And this falls squarely on the shoulders of your leader. And if I were you, I'd sit down with him and say, listen, I think we need to retain this guy, and I think the only shot we've got at retaining him is you going in and say you messed up by not telling him and you apologizing to him. That's the only shot. And I really do think that's the right thing to do, even if the guy leaves. It's still the right thing to do, to give him the honor of 20 years of showing him some respect, even if he can't do the job. And I will tell you, you're going to run into this again because you're in a growth curve industry. We've ran into it where somebody's been here a long time, and I love them, and they just do not have the tools in their belt to do the next thing that we're going to go do, and I have to bring someone in addition to them. I don't fire them, but they don't get that promotion because they just can't. They can't handle it, and it is hurtful, but it's a lot more hurtful when you wait till later to tell them. Ouch. That's how this works. Yeah. When you delay these things, you make them worse every time. Kicking the can down the road just hurts your toe. It just leaves a bloody toe. That's all you get. Bloody toe, kicked can every time. I've done it, and I'm as guilty as y'all are, but we got to stop doing it. It's weak leadership, you guys.